And so,
Yo, I'm not gonna be live. I didn't plan on going live. I'm probably only gonna go live for like a half hour, but we're gonna listen to some ridiculous stuff from Becky with 3.
I guess when PHI mentioned she didn't, and he addressed it immediately. So Ryan's going live saying that I'm being ridiculous. Really, Ryan?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I don't think that I am.
You
I'm
are.
telling the story how I remember it.
So yeah, major thing is PHI did say to me exactly as I said it. PHI did say that she heard from Shifty that her daughter jerked him off. She told that to my face. Now, obviously, kind of lacking credibility now. You know.
So you tell it the way you remember it, and I'll tell it the way I am. And when it all boils down,
Like protecting 288A. Clown by having a modded. Yeah, I guess Clown must have been essayed by that 6-year-old he raped in the bathroom, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe we're both wrong. I don't know.
No, maybe you're lying.
But I'm telling you, that's why I didn't hit the red button. Because I could feel his pain. It was terrible.
Oh, so terrible.
It's not what he wanted. He tried everything that any professional could tell him to do, to how to handle it.
Yeah, and all according to Shifty. Like, is there any verification outside of Shifty to determine that? So there was more than just Ryan heard this. So can they say all the other names who were there? I mean, I can say the names who I remember. I remember Wog being there. I remember, I believe I remember PHI being there. Possibly Tiny was there. I thought telling Ryan to press the red button. All failed to press the red button on Jason Fellows. Oh. Yeah, another thing is I mean, like, if we're like, I wouldn't even make the argument that that like he like if we're talking about like hindsight's 2020, like I wouldn't necessarily make the argument, but like he didn't believe his own kid. Tommy, CPP. Yeah, I don't know. There's just so much to say. About this. Yeah, you told me when we were talking about stream, but it seemed they were only saying you knew when there are multiple people there. No, so they like there were other people in the Zoom and pretty much everyone and including Becky now also confirmed everything. There's so much there's so much to get into. And here's the thing, like here's kind of my rule I'm gonna have, something I'm not gonna do, and I'm saying I'm not gonna do it. Like unless the only thing I have talked about as far as like private conversations, or if they pertain to some kind of probably a heinous crime or something just like really wrong. So something is like, like a personal detail or whatever, I am not going to repeat those conversations. I'll say something about that. Yeah, and there was a Zoom meeting follow up about this. There was. So saying that didn't happen, that's not true. there was another Zoom that I made, and then we made sure that Shifty wasn't getting in because we are trying to figure out what to do. And you know, if anything, like it's not really a matter of me like reporting it. I think the better judgment should have been all of you guys are pedo protectors and don't give a fuck, and I should have left then. That's what I should have done.
And this was prior to him being on panels and all of. But regardless, I don't know what he's doing now about his taxes, but I know what he was doing then.
Are you reading chat?
No, but I will.
Oh, we're back on the taxes. Oh wow. All right. There's like so much ridiculous stuff said in so little time. There was like quite a few people knew. I'm saying pretty much everyone knew. Pretty much everyone knew. If anything, I actually and I was like I actually did clarify this. I did clarify this. I wasn't positive Nunya was in the Zoom, and I said that. I just said who was absolutely confident was there, but I would kind of think, because look how much people knew and heard about it, that I would imagine that Nunya knew, but I can't confirm it. I was completely honest about that. So it sounds like, yeah. So anyway, we'll just play it.
And it was painful to listen to. It was painful for the little girl. It was painful for her dad and the rest.
It was painful for the little girl, and it was painful for the dad. Again, all this based on what Shifty is saying. And it was all reported to the proper authorities and the police and all that, according to Shifty.
To her family. But they've definitely trying to put it in a different light that it's not, that it was not, to my understanding anyway. Of course, I don't have any documentation. I don't have any proof.
Exactly. She doesn't have any proof. It's like, I mean, usually I would kind of just like let, a stream play for a little while, and then I would, like make a point against how ridiculous the person is being. But like it takes, like, it's all of it in this case. You did, Ram, but I want to guess again so it was clear. I seen that there was a narrative forming. Oh, don't go by that, but forming about who knew and when, just so you want to clear it up. I'm saying I don't know if I can confirm Nunya knew, but which I also said. But I would imagine Nunya knew. Just based on the fact that look how much people, like, basically it's like it would be weird that such a crazy story where this was mentioned multiple times in Zoom, and I guess in way more detail, because it was really mentioned pretty much once with me. And they're even in chat saying that Shifty never told me. Again, going by what Shifty says. And then Shelly saying something like they added the jerking off. PHI said that. PHI told me that. This was something that PHI told me in real life.
Sorry, you playing a game in the background. I have no proof. I just have what my memory tells me. And I don't remember anyone talking about it behind his back, questioning whether what he was saying was valid, whether he was a predator. From what I understood was the little girl had come back or came to him. I don't know that he ever had her, but she had come into his life or him into hers, troubled, very troubled in a lot of different ways. Help had already been sought, in that transition. So that wasn't like, it wasn't like he was a stay-at-home dad and had his daughter quarantined to his side and didn't have access to the outside world and professionals. That's not how I understood it. I understood it that she came to him with these issues, or with a lot of issues, a lot of ongoing issues, a diversity of issues. And, things started to escalate. There were a lot of things going on, a lot of violence coming out of her, a lot of verbal, physical anger. How she was violated prior to that, I don't remember that part. I don't know that we were told, but I don't know that we weren't. But it escalated. And every time it escalated, again, I won't say authorities because I don't know if it was the cops, right?
Yeah, because you're going by Shifty's word.
My God, I am so cold, guys. Oof. I'd been laying under this blanket for about an hour, and I thought, oh, that's nice. Oof. Turn on my heat. But anyway, things had escalated, but each time it escalated, from what I understood, there were already caseworkers and different entities, and I don't remember the name of them to give them, but it was definitely all being addressed. And things had started to happen and being said, and notes were being found that were not normal for this little girl. Nothing.
Yeah, and I'll just say this, though. The only moral redemption they can possibly get is, it's one thing that circumstances led me to bring it up a year later, and that's what it is, and I can answer for that. But they have to take a backseat to that because they were on track to never coming out with it, only until pressed. So it's like interesting, the same people are talking about like me, coming out with it in a year. You gotta take a back, you going in the back. You would have never came out with it. I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch to say that. Sounds like a lot of people in the Slack knew about this conversation, and it was explained in a lot more explicit detail than the one time I heard it. To not know about it at all. And I think that's probably even worse. I guess, like, because I think really from if you kind of had like a pulse on kind of the tone, well, complete lack of urgency. To say, yeah, this is a private conversation. We're not going to repeat that. We're not going to repeat your story. You can't compare being in air quotes, and I'm not cammed up, so I can't show the air quotes, but they're definitely there. I promise. Being essayed by a 12-year-old, which probably is not how it went down, according to his word, to an actual crime. False equivalence. And yeah, and all the people in Zoom, yeah, it was pretty much this thing of it's one thing to kind of go on a limb, and figure what you're gonna do. It probably would have been messy, but we probably could have coordinated a plan and probably found out what actually happened and got it out. But like not only there was no not only there was like no one gonna come out with it at all, like they weren't even gonna tell Nunya, I guess. So it's either like Nunya knew or they didn't even see a need to even talk about it further. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
Thing that the little girl was doing was normal. Obviously something had happened, and when things would happen, it would immediately get escalated to I'll just say the authorities, for the better lack of not knowing if it was CPS or
oh yeah, and WOG confirms what I just said. And if you notice, every time I say something, it's weirdly it's kind of like painted with a bad light, but they're confirming every single thing I said. So WOG says this, pussy ass WOG. Ryan was best friends with Shifty even after he was kicked out of Zoom. He was the only one that spoke to him out of Zoom. Why do you think that is? That goes completely in line with what I said I was planning on doing. To get something on tape in a one-party state. And here's the thing. I mean, it's one thing to say, like, it's even one thing to say, like, how would he not stop that situation or whatever. But again, that is also according to Shifty. The same dude saying Alex is money laundering and through me or whatever he's saying. That's also according to Shifty. I think Shifty's credibility is kind of shifty.
Some type of liaison between the parents and the child to get the child ongoing help that she needed and was recognized from the door that she needed. And she came knowing they knew that she needed this type of help. Something was wrong. And to say, and I'm only going to say it once, that it was said that the little girl jacked him off. When I hear that, I'm thinking of hard penis coming. That's not at all what I was told. What I was told was it was bedtime. Everybody was in bed. He woke up, and the little girl was over top of him, attempting to put her hands down his pants, and he immediately addressed it. Immediately called, quote unquote, the authorities. Again, I'm not saying the police, but whoever those people were. Immediately called those people. Immediately called his wife. They had cameras in the house because the little girl was acting out, and not sexually. She was violent. She had siblings. It was a whole pile of things. It wasn't all about.
At least Tommy's asking the right question. So answering your question, Tommy, so is there any other info other than Shifty's word? No. I can answer that really quick. No. It's all based on just good faith in Shifty. That's it.
Sexual in content, right? It was a lot. And it was ongoing. So to all of these things that they're saying, that is not how I recall. And I've talked to PHI since that. And I've asked her how she recalled it.
Oh, this is good.
And she recalled it the same way I did. And she said when Ryan asked her, and she basically said, well, I don't know exactly what happened. But yeah, she was trying to jack him off. Like, she was trying to touch him. And he immediately hit the brakes, hit the red button, and took care of it.
That is not what PHI said to me. PHI didn't say that like something was gonna happen, then Shifty just did the right thing, was proactive about it, and no, that's not what PHI told me. PHI said in a an upset way that Shifty was sus because her daughter was jerking him off, and that story doesn't make any sense. That's what PHI was saying to me. So I don't know. It was like, has Becky ever been lied to before? Does she like not understand that concept? Wait, Ryan, you asked Sammy, or did she ask you? It was it came up. It came up. I think I may have brought it up. I think it was after the Nunya thing. Because as far as like her owing people, if I remember correctly, we're talking about her owing people, a bunch of money, and I'm like, at that time it's just like her owing people a bunch of money. I don't know if I necessarily want to get involved in that, but something I did bring up something that I would get involved in. I mentioned kind of what I heard, and then she told me that story, and if I remember correctly, I said I would back you up on that. And that was kind of the first time I really heard more of like a confirmed detail that it was in that direction.
Straight up, and got her serious help. I believe Shifty still has contact with the little girl. I think that she needed more help than the family could give her, according to the authorities. Again, not the police. I'm not saying that, but I don't want to say caregiver because it's not a caregiver either. But it's a we call ours Rainbow Ridge here, which is pretty much a caseworker, but it's not with CPS. It's not with the Child Protective Services, but it's it's for troubled kids. So let me read some chat. And has his thoughts straight, his details straight. And rightfully so. Like, I don't remember a whole lot of things a lot of times, especially in the community of like who exactly said what to who and where and when. But when it's a private conversation like that, I think I'm pretty good at remembering most of the details or what matters, right? And what I've said.
Oh shit, Tommy. Damn bro, trying to save his ass. Have a great night, yo. Ryan lost all credibility. I lost credibility. I don't know how, dude. I don't know, dude, but all sounds fucked. But Ryan is 100% lying. Yeah, so I'm lying, but they all confirmed exactly what I said. Name one thing I'm lying about. Name one thing that wasn't absolutely confirmed, because they're dumb. Like they'll just like they'll try to put like some incoherent twist on it, thinking that they're being slick, but they'll confirm what I said happened exactly. They confirmed every single detail. So name one lie. Name one thing that wasn't confirmed by the people I'm speaking against.
Is kind of like what matters. I don't have all the answers to everybody's questions, and I'm not going to pretend that I do or make it up. But I can tell you the words that they're using to describe what's happened is not what happened. I will say that when Midwest was on the one panel and he called it, he said it was something, he corrected them. He was the closest to being right. He didn't hit any red buttons. He didn't have any qualms about it. Everybody was still completely fine and sympathetic to what him and his family were going through. The poor girl. I mean, that's where we were at. Nobody was at poor Shifty. Everybody was the poor little girl. How horrible. I mean, what must have happened to her to allow her brain to think like this and her actions to be this? It was horrible. So how do we listen to Ryan's? Because, I mean, I've would like to know what he's saying that I'm so ridiculous about. Brian said he couldn't ask anyone to step up with him because he didn't want to lose friends. I was never...
No, because there would have been no cooperation or proof or anything, and it would have been me at my own word. So again, like, on the repeat, like, I'm just gonna keep saying the same thing. I think, Genius Savvy said something to the effect of, I'm changing the story because when Shifty told me whatever Shifty told me, and then I heard what I heard from PHI, she called that changing the story. So it's kind of like saying, you had omelets on Sunday and then pancakes on Monday. Which is it? Well, it doesn't contradict each other. There's no contradiction.
Approached, and the few people that I still talk to, they said they were never approached, that Ryan never said, like, hey guys, this doesn't smell right. Let's talk about it some more. Or let's discuss it in the background. Or
PHI was in that background Zoom. And PHI, with their infinite credibility, I guess, isn't confirming that.
Let's expose anything. That never happened with me. It didn't happen with the few people that I still talk to. So, I don't know. But I just,
and I think Tommy's like talking about like facts and stuff, bro. Didn't you catch the wrong guy twice? Like, if you do that once, that's like really fucked up. You caught the wrong guy at least twice. Like, oh, that's a predator. It's not even the guy. Like, what credibility?
I mean, I remember what I remember about the tax thing. I mean, I remember saying to him, like, don't jump to conclusions. Like, don't do all that. And no, it wasn't to, stop making money, but it was, he was concerned that, was Alex going to take his content out of the channel? He didn't know what that meant. If it meant he was going to leave it and Ryan would still make money on the content that was put there by Alex. And we discussed it as a group. No, we didn't think that Alex would do that. I didn't think Alex, it was his content, but nobody really thought Alex would do that.
So, yeah, I guess they're saying, like, Alex wanted to take down... I don't even know, like, Alex wanted to take down his videos on MVCap? I never remember that.
And same with paying the taxes. When Ryan was scared that he...
Actually, you know what, though? I'm not even going to get into that. Because that's actually... I kind of talked to someone about that, and I realized that was kind of... that's not something I should talk about. Even though I'd like to talk about it because I'm just hearing a bunch of ridiculous stuff, I'm going to stay on the topic. The right topic. Yo, hear this. Ryan just blamed Tommy for his son's situation, but Ryan at 22 allowed what happened to him and let a preg go. That's the kind of people we're dealing with.
He would be stuck with this big tax bill. The conversations I had about it were, no, I don't think Alex isn't going to do that. Obviously Alex knows he's not going to put that burden on you. He wouldn't do it. And it didn't happen. And nobody said that it did. But I was in that conversation, and I know what was said. Like, so you can call me a liar, and it makes no difference. Like, it doesn't change anything between him and I. Whether he says, I don't know what he's doing now about his taxes, but I know what he was doing then.
Are you reading chat?
Yeah.
Okay. Then click on yourself and make yourself big.
I guess.
Oh, then it's just playing me, I guess.
His content out of his channel, he didn't know what that meant. If it meant he wasn't believe it, and Ryan would still make money on the content.
Oh, so now they're just playing. Oh, this is weird, bro. So now they're just playing. I think. All right. I think this probably should be kind of near the end of the stream because they're playing me, playing back them, and if I play them live while they're playing me, playing them, then it's gonna get into an echo.
Put there by Alex.
Actually, you know what though? I'm not even gonna get into that because that's actually I kind of talked to someone about that, and I realized that was kind of that's not something I should talk about. You know, even though I like to talk about it, a bunch of ridiculous stuff, I'm gonna stay on the topic, the right topic. Yo, I think in chat they said no one's playing me. That guy sounds a lot like me. I don't know. Yeah, those kind of just I kind of just heard a couple stuff. I was actually just gonna go on the panel. But when I hear like a lot of ridiculous stuff, I just have to pop off.
Whoever those people were, immediately called those people. Immediately called his wife. I was told it in private, and now when I do that, when I have a one-on-one conversation with someone in private, I'd like to keep it that way, or would like to think people would keep it that way. I'm kind of wishy-washy with myself if it's a good idea or it's not my battle to fight. But I know that shit has been added to the Shifty story. And it's just appalling to me. Like, I'm sorry, but I was there. And trust me, everybody had their ears wide open. I mean, they were listening and asking questions. And, I mean, he was forthcoming. You know, it was nothing that they're portraying it to be. And, you know, for Ryan to say, well, you know, basically he was the lone horse, nobody would back him up. He never once acted like he wanted to address it or that it even needed addressed. He really didn't. He didn't hit the red button. He didn't question him in a way of, are you lying? Are you sure?
Well, I remember from when it was described that I asked like a lot of questions after he said the word sexual assault. He didn't really go into much more detail. And I remember he kind of just stopped there. But he sure as hell felt a lot more comfortable around other people in Zoom and other people in Slack that he went into way more detail. Where's Shifty? Who is Becky telling his story? Who in the holy hell would want this country bumpkin telling any part of your story? I'm screen chat. But yeah, I think the rest are probably just gonna like talk about you know, the secret money laundering, you know, my meth empire that I funneled through MVCat. Remember when I tried to confront Aussie John? Yeah, I'll have the links available. Everyone tried to confront us, John, last year when he said Hoax's first name on Clowntown, and Shifty clammed up. After we agreed, we would confront him about it. He isn't gonna tell shit. Yeah, I mean, this kind of other stuff. I don't really know about that. Yeah, something like he said it public, and I'll call out his hypocrisy all day when he's trying to call others out and cause hurt. bro. Like she's saying like little stuff like I sit on my facts, I stand on my facts. She has no credibility at all to stand on anything. You can stand on the moon; it doesn't matter. Like anything you say, anything a part of your credibility is worth dirt. Like even if you want to, like you can't make the argument against someone that came out with something, in a delayed fashion if you were never going to come out with it. And given all of the verified stuff that's coming out, all the things they're confirming, there's no way that that's something that shouldn't have come out.
Let me pump you for more information. That didn't happen. Just didn't happen.
Like, even if you want to, like, you can't make the argument against someone. Oh yeah, so now they're playing me. Actually, let's make it interesting. I'll go on there. Let's see. Let's play. Because honestly, if I even play them, it's just gonna be an echo. That's something that shouldn't have come out.
Ryan, why would you come up on my panel when you sat over there and said what you had to say? We heard you. We heard you. Loud and fucking clear. We heard you.
You can't make the argument against someone.
Again, my question to you, Ryan, is if nobody would corroborate it with you,
I'll go
the day PHI told you
Mute
that,
the video.
why didn't you do it then? Because at that point you said you had somebody that would stand with you. Right? So why didn't you then? You went back to your hotel room and got on panels all night long and didn't do those catches. Ryan, why would you come up on my panel when you sat over there and said what you had to say? We heard you. We heard you. Loud and fucking clear. We heard
She gonna let me up? I don't know.
Again, my question to you, Ryan, is if nobody would corroborate it with you.
Okay.
Dago's
Dago's gonna get bad. Alright, Dago's gonna get bad. I think that's pretty much it. That's kind of all I gotta go as far as I mean, because then if I even play it, it's just gonna be an echo, and pretty much everything past like her talking is just her playing this. So you guys have already heard what I said. So there's no real ground to cover. Yeah, unless anyone wants to come up, I'll share the link. Paste. Yeah, and pretty much, don't they always say, like, why are you coming out with it now? Like for anything that comes out, and they say that, so it never comes out. So it's only, would you rather something come out in a year, or would you rather something to never come out? And never coming out is always worse. A 45-year-old mother, I would never agree to do what Becky is doing under Nenya's orders. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of just like reading comments. Is there really anything more to say? I'm not really sure. But yeah, total scumbag shit, total lies, total cowardice, total scumbags, and they have absolutely no place in a predator catcher community. They've done nothing but show themselves to be pedo sympathizers. And are they saying anything, or is it just me?
And if I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. But I do know that at one point, Shifty had said, they said in chat here, whoever must still be talking to Shifty, I've never had a private conversation with him outside of Zoom, and I've not talked to him anywhere or anyway since he left Zoom. But they said that there is paperwork, and all he had to do was ask for the paperwork one-on-one.
Oh my god! All I had to do was ask. Yeah. Yo, and then legal expert Nunya is saying something. Exactly, Tommy. When someone legally gets Ryan's ass, it's gonna be a real bad look on catchers. Well, let me explain you something about defamation. Is how is a user account named Shifty an identifiable individual to defame? And how can you prove that I caused a financial loss? So yeah, that's not how it works. If Ryan had any brain cells, he would have had Shifty's phone number. I did. And I can probably get it. PHI was trying to give Ryan a visual of what the girl was trying to do, not what happened. No! PHI was on an anti-Nunya rant about how she was owing over $20,000. She was very mad about it. She was taking advantage of the predator catcher community. This is PHI. Hate to break it to you, Nunya, but she wasn't talking good about you. And then the next thing we discussed was how messed up the Shifty thing was. And there was no I don't even know how they're trying to frame it. But yeah, that's not what happened. See, 30 years old. I'm 31. I'm 31, by the way. 30 years old and thinks water cooled PCs are not real or a thing like that. And you know what? I think I did put a comment saying something like not my finest moment or whatever. You know, they talk about like running out of gas, but like my scandals will always be shit like that, like running out of gas. You know, stupid shit like that. But their shit will be lying about cancer to extort money. You know, using GoFundMe's for not its intended purposes. Like, how can you sleep at night begging a widow and shaking her down for 8 G's after she lost her husband in a tragic accident? How do you sleep at night, Nunya? Did I ever do anything anywhere near like that, Nunya? I couldn't sleep like that. And you take a picture of your like goofy pimple or whatever, and then say it's giving you headaches, and it might be brain cancer, and I think after they turned it into skin cancer. Total joke. Total joke shit. But yeah, just in my chat, the MVCap community, we have a little bit more integrity. Could you sleep at night shaking a widow down for $8,000 and then making up some crazy story about cancer? Because like right in the same text, she's asking for about like $250. Any one of you, step forward. Could you guys sleep at night? Could you guys sleep at night? Would you guys be like, damn, bro, like I put this like after this person had this terrible thing happen, I made her life worse, and now she feels she's taken advantage of. That's why she came out with it, and then she said something about like that was a gift, bro. Total piece of shit. She said that her kids are having like one meal a day, and she talks about like other people taking care of herself, while saying like something about like a dog, a $70,000 dog that I didn't even want, that I'm implying I might not take care of it in the event uh sent a surprise dog or something like that. And even if your lies are true, you're not even feeding your kids. Maybe you should instead of putting money on weed, maybe you should feed your kids. Even that's according to what she's saying is true. So yeah, the fact is, like, no one in my my chat could sleep at night doing the shit that Nunya did, or capable of doing the things that they've done. I'm just doing this because he's going to do Tech's dirty work also because Tech was kicked out of the locales and Shifty wasn't. I don't even know what that's about. I bet Target would have refunded the full 312. I don't know what that's about. Yeah, I think they were talking about I don't know, like I think they were trying to even talk about like before they talk about like my finances, like also got evicted 3 times. So your kids aren't eating, kids don't have a stable roof on your head. How do you worry about that before you want to talk about like, other people? Yeah, definitely. Not like us. That's the worst thing. I mean, because my mom did die of cancer. I think lying about cancer. And the only reason that I or anyone is talking about you is because you're in the same category as Boogie 2988. That are so despicable they're worth talking about just because they're shitty human beings. That's it. Yeah, I kind of said too much. I mean, I shouldn't really talk about like financial stuff. That's not a good idea. I was kind of just trying to like it's almost like a curiosity thing though, because like the crazy things they were saying, like I mean, it's kind of amusing to me. Like I'll lock Alex out of the account or something like that, and then somehow that has to do with taxes, and then money laundering through a meth empire. I don't even know what the next one is. One of the grifts was that Walmart refused to refund the whole purchase amount. LGH had to cover the difference. Yeah, I think Lady Ghost Hunter had bigger problems. I don't know. I don't think I want to go in a circle. I think I'm kind of going in a circle here. I think that's about it, actually. I just kind of can't think of anything more to say. Unless they're talking. I don't know. Don't they always say, like, you know,
Sure.
now, like for anything?
Yeah, I can hear Todd in the background.
And they say that, so it never comes out. So it's only, would you rather something come out in a year, or would you rather something to never come out? Yeah, so there's kind of playing me. But clear up about Shifty being kicked out of the LCU. Was that the locale something? He was kicked out of their Discord by Keem. Well, I don't know anything about that. I know very little about the locale stuff. Well, I think I have enough material to cover for the night. Have a good rest of your night. Hopefully I've given you something to cringe at. You know, some cringe content. And yes, I guess it's kind of like the same thing as the locale community, like, you know, cringe content. But yeah, I'm just gonna hit this red button here. This is end stream, and to all good night.